Thank you for subscribing to our channel. Today is Saturday, June 5, 2021. CNN report. Rep. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez backs Maya Wiley for New York City mayor. New York Rep. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez endorsed civil rights lawyer Maya Wiley on Saturday in the race for New York City mayor, a sign of growing progressive momentum behind Wiley's campaign with less than 3 weeks until the June 22 Democratic primary. Wiley now has the support of two of the state's highest-profile members of Congress in Ocasio-Cortez, who represents parts of Queens and the Bronx, and Rep.
Deutsche Welle report. Merkel urges ambitious Glasgow climate summit. The United Nations COP26 climate summit in November must provide further impetus for concrete measures to cut global warming to a tolerable level, German Chancellor Angela Merkel insisted on Saturday. In her weekly video podcast, coinciding with World Environment Day, Merkel said the climate goals set in Paris in 2015 and to be finessed in Glasgow, Scotland, later this year, will make 2021 a significant year in the transition from fossil fuels.
Al Jazeera report. Al Jazeera denounces Israeli assault and arrest of its journalist. Al Jazeera News Channel's journalist Givar Abu-Dairi was arrested in a brutal manner by Israeli occupation forces while covering demonstrations in the occupied East Jerusalem neighborhood of Sheikh Jarrah. Al Jazeera holds the Israeli government responsible for her welfare and demands her immediate release. Al Jazeera's cameraman, Nabil Mazawi, also had his camera destroyed by the Israeli authorities while reporting.
Deutsche Welle report. Turkish drone strike on Iraqi refugee camp kills 3 civilians were killed and 2 more injured on Saturday in a Turkish missile attack on a refugee camp in northern Iraq. Earlier this week, Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan threatened to clean up the camp, located in Makamor, calling it an incubator for terrorists. If the United Nations does not clean up this district, we will take care of it in our capacity as a UN member state, he warned.
Al Jazeera report. Zimbabwe's elephant culling plan stirs debate. Harare, Zimbabwe. Africa's elephant population has been dangerously declining, but not in Zimbabwe. Authorities in the southern African country estimate that the number of its mammoth mammals currently stands at slightly more than 100,000, up from 84,000 in 2014, when the last census was conducted, for a carrying capacity of about 45,000. The surplus has prompted the government in recent weeks to mull the mass killing of elephants, something the country last did in 1988 as a population control option in order to protect other wildlife, as well as the country's vegetation.
Fox report. Legion official resigns over censored Memorial Day speech. The head of an American Legion post in Ohio stepped down Friday amid criticism following the decision of Memorial Day ceremony organizers to turn off a retired U.S. Army officer's microphone while he was speaking about how freed black slaves honored fallen soldiers just after the Civil War. American Legion leaders in Ohio also suspended the post's charter and are taking steps to close it. The moves come in the wake of intense backlash to the decision to censor retired Army lieutenant.
Deutsche Welle report. German police launch hunt for synagogue arsonist. Police in the German state of Baden-Württemberg said fire crews called by the witness promptly extinguished the incendiary fluid that left the synagogue's facade sooted and a pane of glass damaged. State Premier Winfried Kretschmann, based in Stuttgart, 90 kilometers, 55 miles, northwest from Ulm, described the Saturday morning incident as a vile attack. It shows the insidious face of anti-Semitism, which we oppose clearly and unambiguously, said Kretschmann.
CNN report. 5 additional coffins found at 1921 Tulsa massacre search site. Crews searching an excavation site at Oak Lawn Cemetery for the remains of those killed in the 1921 Tulsa Race Massacre found 5 coffins on Thursday afternoon. This brings the total amount of coffins found at the mass grave feature to 20 thus far, according to the city of Tulsa. After conducting the majority of the groundwork this week, the formal exhumation process is expected to start on Monday, June 7, the city said in a statement.
BBC report. Sardinian sand theft leaves dozens facing fines of up to €3,000. Authorities said on Saturday that 41 individuals had been reported for the theft of about 100 kilograms, 220 pounds, of items from beaches in separate incidents. Sardinia's famed white sand is treasured on the island and it is strictly forbidden to remove it. The trade in Sardinian sand, pebbles and shells was made illegal in 2017. The fines imposed might seem heavy-handed, but for years islanders have complained about the theft of their natural assets.
Fox report. Tourist critical after scooter hit and run amid rash of NYC traffic incidents. A tourist from Los Angeles suffered severe head trauma after she was hit by a scooter in Manhattan on Friday, during a night of mayhem on the roads that also left 2 boys with critical injuries when they were struck by cars in separate incidents in Queens, police said. The 65-year-old tourist was crossing West 64th Street at Amsterdam Avenue at around 7:30 p.m. when a man on a black and red scooter slammed into her and then fled the scene, police said.
BBC report. Dozens killed in Burkina Faso attack. During the overnight raid on Solhan, homes in the market were also burned, Reuters news agency reports quoting a government statement. No group has said it was behind the violence. But Islamist attacks are increasingly common in the country, especially in regions bordering Niger and Mali. The security forces are currently looking for the perpetrators, he added. In another attack on Friday night, 14 people were reported to have been killed in the village of Tadariat, about 150 kilometers, 93 miles, to the north of Solhan.
CNN report. Nigerians can now be prosecuted for sending tweets following ban on Twitter. The Nigerian government has ordered federal prosecutors to arrest and prosecute users of the Twitter app, after a ban on the social media company took effect on Friday. Nigeria's Attorney General and Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, issued the directive Saturday in a statement signed on his behalf by his spokesman, Dr. Umar Jibrilu Gwandu. Malami directed the Director of Public Prosecution of the Federation, DPPF, at the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, to swing into action and commence in earnest the process of prosecution of violators of the federal government deactivation of operations of Twitter in Nigeria, it read.
CNN report. Let's talk at the right time, says Casemiro on Brazil hosting Copa America. Brazil might be hosting the Copa America, but whether the Brazilian soccer squad wants to participate in the tournament due to the uncontrolled state of the pandemic in the country remains to be seen. Brazil coach Tite said on Thursday during a media conference that his players asked for a meeting with Brazilian Football Confederation, CBF, President Rogério Caboclo to discuss the issue. Brazilian media reported that the players had discussed the possibility of not participating in the tournament, which is set to start on June 13.
Fox report. U.S. Air Force, WWII-era ordnance found in UK as largest haul on record. An Air Force civil engineering squadron in the United Kingdom uncovered the largest ever haul of unexploded World War II ordnance on record for a U.S. engineer regiment. The 48th Civil Engineering Squadron in April recovered a total of 370.50 caliber rounds from a construction site at the Royal Air Force, RAF, Lakenheath Station, where construction on a new airport was set to begin. This is the largest find we've seen on our records, according to the United States Air Force Staff SGT.
Al Jazeera report. Iran's presidential candidates clash amid disqualification row. Tehran, Iran. 7 candidates qualified to run in Iran's June 18 presidential election have gone head-to-head in a televised debate, as controversy over the disqualification of other hopefuls persists. Saturday's 3-hour event focused on the economy, which has taken a big hit in the past 3 years under United States sanctions and is characterized by rampant inflation and high unemployment. 2 more debates are due to be held on Tuesday and next Saturday.
BBC report. U.S. gun laws. Judge overturns California assault weapons ban. Federal Judge Roger Benitez said the law went against the constitutional Second Amendment right to bear arms. Judge Benitez found that the way California defines military-style rifles deprives the state's residents of weapons allowed elsewhere in the U.S. Governor Gavin Newsom described the ruling as a threat to public safety. California Attorney General Rob Bonta said the authorities would appeal against the decision, which the judge suspended for 30 days to allow the appeal to be lodged.
Thank you for watching 5 p.m. recap. To be notified, you can subscribe our channel and activate the bell.